Hi guys, this is Devarshan from Synatic, and in this demo, I will run through a solution that we have built using JigX and Synatic. So if you've ever tried to build a mobile app, you'll know that there are two main hurdles. The first being building the components for the mobile application itself, making it look and function the way that you need it to. The second is actually reading, writing, and managing the data within the application, either from a single source or multiple sources. So the solution I'm about to show you was built quickly and easily using both platforms for an insurance use case. So without further ado, let me jump into the details and show you how Synatic and JigX makes building powerful solutions easy enough for anyone to do. So I'm just gonna quickly share my screen. Okay, so as you can see, I've got my phone open and I've got our little Synatic app here. I'm going to launch the app, and this can be branded any way that you need it to. We've branded it for Synatic, and you can see that it is powered by JigX. So first on the home screen, I'm just going to quickly sign in. Cool. And this is our mobile application that we built with JigX. And as you can see, there's quite a few components and a lot of information being displayed. So I'm going to walk you through each one of these components. And then thereafter, I will go into Synatic and show you how we actually configured this information to come into JigX. Okay, so on the first card at the top, we have news feeds. So you can see here that there are two, one for Synatic News and another for Synatic Blog. So this information is actually coming from Synatic's website on our news page. So it's pulling through some of the articles that we've published. And in here, you can actually skip through these stories. And if you want to read more, you can click on the read more button and it'll take you to the full article inside the Synatic website. Okay, and you'll be able to read it. So just gonna go back, and that's the same for the blogs as well. Okay, the next card is a commissions card that we've mapped to commissions values for the year 2022. So in Synatic, we filtered the data coming in to only pull through information for 2022. And this widget is just displaying some key information based on the information sitting in Synatic. Okay. So as you can see on the left here, we have total commission, so total executive commission in USD. That's the 15,000 that you see, as well as a little line chart. And if you scroll your finger on it, you'll be able to see little values per point on the chart. And that's broken down for the full year, basically. Okay, when you go into the widget, you click on it, you'll be able to see the full chart on here. Okay, and again, if you hover your finger over a point on the chart, it will give you the details for that point. Okay, then we have a breakdown for month over month. So we have a progress indicator, which is showing the contribution as a percentage for that month towards the total commission amount. We've also got a count on the number of transactions and the value as well. Okay, so that's for each month. You'll be able to click on show more if you want to see the rest of the months. By default, we've limited it to a few records. And yeah, so when you go back at the bottom, you've got your more details as a summary widget, which also just has the total commission as well as a value in USD. And when you click on more details on this one, it takes you to more details. So basically here, we've got a little bit more information. So we've got a breakdown by line of business. So we've split the information based on line of business, and the colors that you see in the chart are also coordinating with the items here in the list that you can see. So you can also make it easy for you to see what the chart is based on just by looking at it. Okay, so similar structure here. If you scroll down further, we've got a bar graph here as well, which is showing policies by branch and the breakdown for that as well. Okay, and yeah, you can put as many as you want on here. So we've just taken a couple of examples. And yeah, that's the commissions aspect. So if I go back and I go to the next one, whoops, I want to scroll. So the next widget that you see here is a customers widget. So this one is we've set it as a pie chart. So it's showing active versus inactive customers. Okay, it's also got a little counter, as you can see, 99 plus. So that counter we've just set to count the number of customers that we have. Okay, in here, if you click on it, it will take you to a list of customers. So in here, you'll be able to actually search and filter as well. So if I wanted to search, let's see if we've got somebody named, okay, there we go, Jeff. Picked up Jeff. But yeah, you'll be able to search. Oops, I went back too fast. So if you click on a person or customer, it'll show you the details for this person. Okay, we've also displayed the location. So we're using a location widget on this, where it will actually pull through the person's address and put a pin on the map to show you that person's location. And then you can also interact with that as well if you wanted to zoom. So we've just listed some basic customer information as well as policy information. So we've listed policy information pertaining to this specific customer, and you again will be able to filter on that. So also, if you click on it, it will take you to the policy details for that policy. Okay, so they are interactable. Again, for usability, we've also set some of the fields as control fields. So what you can do is click, for example, on the phone number and be able to place a call. It's the same for email. It'll allow you to compose an email for that email address. Okay, so I'm going to go back. Okay, just to show you the filter. If I click on active, it will filter this list and only show us the active customers on this list, and same for inactive. Cool, and that's the customer list. Okay, next we've got premiums. So premiums in 2022, again, it's filtered by the year 2022. And this is just showing a ratio percentage. So you can see the 45% ratio between cost and premium. So that's indicated with a bar chart. And if we click on it, it takes us to more details where you can see that we've actually listed all of the customers, and it's also been anonymized as well. So if, for example, you need to anonymize certain information, you can do that as well, which we've done in Synatic. We've got a similar layout here. We've got the progress indicator, transactions, and the values. Okay, so that's just a simple one. So if I go back, the next one we have is policy renewals. So what policy renewals is doing is it's checking all of the policies that we've got in our database, and it's only pulling through ones within a banding of 120 days, 60 days, 90 days, etc. And we've listed counters on there, so you can see at the top we've got 13 records sitting in 30 days, 2 sitting in 90 days as of the current date and time. We've also got a counter, which indicates the number of actions that need to be performed based on those records. Okay, so when you click into it, it'll take you to those policies that require action. So again, search and filter, we're able to search and filter on here. The filter is different on this one, whereas we've got more information. So it's listed like this, and we'll be able to pick on each one, and the list will automatically filter based on the selection that I've made. Cool. So as you can see here, the information that's being displayed as well is also color coded. So if you look at the progress indicators, they are in different colors. So this is basically showing you that, okay, if it's less than a certain amount or greater than a certain amount, I want to flag those with specific colors. So you can do that to have a greater visibility. Sorry. Yeah, then we've got also the information that's being displayed. So if you look at the right-hand side, the icons that are being displayed, it's also looking at the policy type. So if it's a policy for home or policy for auto insurance, then the icon that's displayed is looking at that value and will show the relevant icon. So on this list, we've got swipe actions. So we've added swipe actions on this list. So if I swipe to the right, you'll be able to see 2 options for this policy. One is you'll be able to view the customer. So clicking on this will take you to that specific customer. Okay, and you'll be able to see their details. Okay. If I go back, swipe again, and click on policy, it'll show you the policy details for that policy. Okay, so that's just a little bit more interaction that you have. And then the other option that we have is if you swipe to the left, you can mark this action as complete. So since this is an actionable item, if I say mark complete, you'll see that what will happen is it'll get removed from this list. The counter has decreased as well. And this item is now updated in the database to say that I've now completed this action. Okay. I go back. Here, we've also just listed the customers. This is just a different way of showing the customers. So if you wanted to be able to show the customers like this on the homepage, you can actually access them directly from here, and it will go straight into the customer. So if I wanted to go into Ruby, you can see that it'll take us straight into the customer. Alternatively, if you want to click on the list, you can just click on the whole list, and then it'll just take you to the customer list again. Cool. And yeah, that's essentially the functionality that we've built inside of JigX. What I'm going to do now is show you inside Synatic how we've actually set up this data to come into JigX. Okay, cool. So inside of Synatic, if I first start off with the API builder, so I just click on this, you can see that we've configured Synatic's API builder to set up a few endpoints so that JigX can actually use these endpoints to retrieve and update data. Okay, so these are the endpoints that I've set up. And if I, for example, take a look at the get report, you can see that this is looking at a buffer inside of Synatic, which is like a table of data. And every time this endpoint is called, Synatic's going to look at this buffer and say, okay, what's in this buffer? Send it to JigX. Okay. This is just one way of sending the data. Another way is looking at a flow where Synatic will actually run through the entire flow first and then pass the information into JigX. Okay, so you can see that customer policies, as an example, is looking at a flow. So essentially, each time this endpoint is called in JigX, Synatic is going to run through this flow and perform a set of activities or functions or whatever it is that you've done and configured in that flow before passing the information into JigX. Okay. So if I go into this, let's go into the customers flow. Okay. So in the customers flow, this is how I've configured this flow for the customers. And essentially, if I explain this flow to you, your starting point is a buffer in Synatic. So essentially, this buffer is a list or a table of customers. So if I view the values here, you can see that this is the information that's currently sitting in there. So all the customer information that we require that we're sending into JigX is in here. But actually, one step before this is that we're actually calling this information from AMS. So we are making a call to the AMS database, and we performing some function over there to say, only give me customers that have auto insurance and home insurance, as an example. And then what we are doing is putting that information into a buffer. And we are then using this buffer for the information in JigX. Okay. So that is our starting point. And essentially where that data comes from is another flow. So we've got another separate flow that makes a call. So for example, once information in AMS is updated, that flow runs, and then the information in this buffer is also updated. So they're both in sync. Okay. So as you can see on here, we actually using what we call a HTTP lookup. And what this is doing is it's actually anonymizing our data for us. So the information that you saw in JigX with all the names and the pictures, this is what we are using to actually randomize that data so that we can use it for demo purposes like this. And essentially, that's just been configured to mask those fields. So you can see that I'm essentially pulling the fields that I want and I'm masking them. Or as we call them, we're mapping them to new fields. Okay. What I'm doing then next on the calculator is this calculator step allows you to run JavaScript code. So in here, I've just written some JavaScript code to actually transform that data. I can format it how I want, and then just chuck it into an updated buffer, which JigX will then look at. Okay, so as you can see, that's essentially all I'm doing with this flow is anonymizing that data, formatting it how I need to, and then I'm storing it in a buffer specifically for JigX. Okay, so in the context of if that API builder endpoint was set to a flow, Synatic will run through this each time based on the rules and return the data sitting in this buffer. So since this is the last step, whatever's in this buffer goes to JigX. Okay. So in this buffer, essentially is our formatted data. So being really difficult to do inside of JigX is actually formatting the data and working with the data inside of JigX. So it can get really messy sometimes. So working with it inside of Synatic, making it how you need, making it look like how you need it to look before actually sending it to JigX. And then all you're doing in JigX is just mapping the fields to say, okay, I want name to be name shown in a text box or in a label, or map your X and Y axis to buffer value. So you can actually do all of that inside of Synatic and be able to just say, okay, work with the data and then just send it to JigX as the final format so that there's less work in JigX for you. Okay. Okay, so moving on to Visual Studio Code, where we actually building the application inside of JigX. So JigX has a Visual Studio plugin which allows you to actually write this code with the help from JigX itself and essentially build your mobile application. So where Synatic and JigX comes together is that inside of JigX, I'm going to call this JigX. Inside of JigX, we essentially just build out our REST functions and tell JigX when to make the calls to the to get the data from Synatic, and Synatic will just send the data into JigX and then display it. So this function here that I'm showing you is just an example of what we would actually do in terms of retrieving the data from Synatic. So here you can just see it's a normal GET request with a URL, and you'd pass in any parameters that are required for that API that you built. Okay, so essentially all you'd need to do is set up that, and then again, you would just specify, let me just show you the report. I think it's this one. Yeah. So here inside of JigX, you would basically just say, okay, these are the fields that I want. And you can also rename them. So you can see we've done that here. But if you're doing it inside of Synatic, where you already mapped all of this information inside of Synatic, you wouldn't need to do it like this. So this, again, like I mentioned, it's making it a lot easier for you to do in JigX because Synatic is already sending you the information in the format that you already need. So as you can see, you wouldn't need to do something like this where you have to format the date inside of JigX before you actually put it into a local database inside of your mobile app. So essentially all you'd need to do is just select all the standard fields and then map them. So as an example, if I go into customer details here, you can see here it becomes a lot easier to actually map the fields because you're not doing any formatting of any sort. You're just saying, okay, I want email, I want phone number, map it to the control, so content type, and then that's literally it. All you're doing is just creating those controls, building those forms, and then if you look at the index page here, it's really, really neat and tidy. There's not much in terms of saying, okay, I want to format this, I need to rearrange this or anything. It's all done inside of Synatic. So this process allows you to actually streamline the entire building of the application because you're not having to worry about two different things. You're actually just saying, okay, do everything with regards to the data inside of Synatic, get it the way I need it, format any custom fields, any calculations, data from multiple sources, be it your ERP, your CRM, all of that information coming into a single data source inside of JigX, and then just mapping those fields. And then you'd end up with the application that you want. So it makes it really easy to actually play around with all of this together. So you can just imagine, not having to worry about doing um, everything in one platform, whereas you've prepared the data in Synatic and you're just displaying the information in the control that you need, and it makes it really easy to work with and actually fun as well. So I guess, yeah, that's the demo for today. And yeah, if you guys have any questions on the JigX platform or Synatic, please feel free to reach out to us. We'd be more than happy to set up a session and help you guys build those amazing platforms together with you. So yeah, I guess thanks guys, and yeah, we hope to be working with you soon. Thanks.